Have you ever sat down and listened to a video game soundtrack and thought to yourself, man, this sounds dark, but it also has a tinge of brightness to it? What is this? The answer is probably the Dorian mode, which is a great mode to use when you want to invoke a somber yet mysterious lull that also has a playfulness and an intriguing characteristic to it. In this video, I will attempt to talk about the Dorian mode and explain how it's unique in its own way. And in the end, I will put that knowledge to the test by composing a song that reflects what I've learned as if I were composing for a video game soundtrack myself. So without further ado, let's get right into it. In the realm of music theory, tonality is a paramount base to the structure and feel of a song. By now, I think we can all recognize this pattern, that minor sounds sad and major sounds happy. And you might have probably heard this from other music YouTubers as well. This contrast is common in all the songs we hear every day. Though not immediately obvious, tonality can influence moods and guide us to an emotional response. And, depending on the composer and the listener, this will have varying degrees of effectiveness. Tonality, as I've said, is an inherent aspect of a song's character. But could there be more to it than that? Some of you might be screaming the answer at the top of your lungs at the moment, and some of you might be correct. The answer is modality. Modality, or simply modes, are scales that are rooted in common major and minor scales, but with each mode there's a note that differs from those two scales. There are 7 musical modes and each differ in their own quirky, unique way. We have the Ionian mode, also known as the major scale, Dorian, this one will be important later, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, also known as the minor scale, and finally, Locrian. Let's all assume for 1 second that we're all total beginners and we don't even know how to construct these scales. How would we go about doing that? Well, a very simple way to do so is just to go to the piano and play the white keys only. Depending on where we start or where our tonal center will be and do 7 notes up, we'll get a different mode. With me so far? Let's test this theory. In the previous part where I was listing off all the musical modes, I put a little text below the Dorian saying that it is a minor scale with the raised sixth, aka the natural sixth. Knowing this, we could probably use our play only the white notes method to find the Dorian mode. And if we had to build it using this method, we would have to find a key center that matches the Dorian criteria perfectly. If we go to our piano and start playing a scale starting on D using only the white keys, we will get this. We can also observe that the beginning and the end of the scale that we have just built resembles that of a D natural minor scale. The only difference is that since we played the white keys only, we got B natural. And the D natural minor scale typically has a B flat on it. Since B is the 6th scale degree, it only makes sense that it is now a B natural instead of B flat. We have raised the 6th scale degree, thus we get the D Dorian mode. Ruins from Undertale will be my first example of the Dorian mode in action. This track is first played when Toriel leaves us to our own devices exploring the ruins of the underground after she urges us not to do so. This song is in A flat Dorian, and it uses the F natural instead of the F flat, which looks like E on the keyboard. It is only fitting that the song playing in the background should be a deviation of something as familiar as a minor scale. After all, remember what I said about the Dorian scale just being a regular minor scale with a raised 6th degree? The disconnect between reality and the otherworldly/mysterious nature of the ruins of the underground draws the same parallel between the natural minor scale versus the Dorian mode. This next track, Arashi no Mae no Shizukesa, or Silence Before the Storm, is also a great example of the Dorian mode. The song is featured in Final Fantasy X. It depicts the Dorian mode with a sort of whimsy, versus the mysterious nature of the ruins from Undertale. This song in particular is in B-flat Dorian, and the raised 6th scale degree is the G natural. To me, it is interesting to see the Dorian mode be used in such a manner that evokes a sense of serene quietude. I mean, it contrasts that of the urgent nature from the ruins from Undertale. This song also has a distinct similarity with that track. They both use a minor 1 to major 4 progression, which really wouldn't be possible using a natural minor scale. Since the Dorian mode uses the raised 6th, that means that our 4 chord will be major instead of minor, as it uses the 4th, the 6th, and the root. Using the major 4 allows us to brighten what would otherwise be a darker song had we used the natural minor scale. A great exercise for you to do at home is to try and listen to a track and check if it moves from a minor chord to a major chord. If that minor chord happens to be the root of the song that you're listening to, you might have discovered the song in Dorian. All in all, we have learned that the Dorian mode is a very versatile mode that allows us to expand our horizons music composition-wise. I realize this is a very short video, but I think we've covered the basics of Dorian, and I think we can use those to make our own track now. We have learned that the raised 6th degree allows for a bright sound, and that our minor 1 to major 4 progression helps us establish the Dorian mode. I've taken this all into consideration while making my track, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear this. I've kept you all waiting long enough, so I want to present you guys my composition featuring the Dorian mode. Hey everybody, Detective Cloudy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to make many more like these in the future. I want to give a quick shout out and my deepest gratitudes for the people who are in the screen right now. Without their input, their opinion, while I was making this video, I likely wouldn't have kept going because I thought my video wasn't going to be great, and their input helped me a lot. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you guys enjoyed this kind of video, please make sure you leave a like and also comment as well. I want to do more of these in the future, so your support is greatly appreciated. And with that, I'll be taking my leave. Thank you so much for watching.